Hey everyone, this is RGK and here are my top picks for local multiplayer games on PC that can be played on the same screen. First, we will see the games for 4 players and then 1 versus 1 when you don't have all your friends available at all times. If that's the case, here is a note of advice. I keep mine in the fridge so they're all fresh and dandy. There is a lot of ground to cover, so we'll restrict ourselves to games that you can simply launch at a party with beginners and quickly move on to the next game. So, exit the Grand Adventures, but you can still see some of my picks on the screen here for you. Likewise, to restrict a bit more the games for this list, I will only talk about those in which everyone has a controller in their hand and plays in real time. Sorry for the hot seat games, those are great for long plays, and you can also see some of my picks on the screen. For all the games I will talk about now, there is a link for the Steam page in the description of this video. And you know what? I am going to start straight with my number 1 because I've already wasted enough of your time. Number 1. Duck Game. The reason why this game is awesome is not just because you can pick up the body of your opponents and quack like a rabbit wereduck, that's an actual thing, you can hear them near haunted rivers, but it's also because it's just so much fun to be dropped in an unknown place and everyone scrams for a weapon, killing themselves in the process before even understanding what happened. Each weapon handles in a unique way, and you will hear countless swears when someone forgot to reload or count how many bullets left they had. How could it be more perfect? If it could be played online, which is already the case. This one is a keeper. The only downside is that sometimes the controls feel a bit stiff, especially if you just finished the session of number 2. Number 2, Samurai Gun. Lightning fast, so reactive that the feeling of every platformer should be judged in comparison to Samurai Gun. This one is my personal all-time favorite. Very precise, very fast-paced, very elegant. Entirely based on skill, no randomness. Each character starts with a katana and 3 bullets. Make each bullet count. Number 3, Overcooked. I would have never thought that I would rank this one so high until I tried it. My friends were so glued to it that I had to protect the kitchen fire to get them to stop playing this one and get back to killing each other as normal people do. Why is it so good? Because it's all about harnessing chaos and having to cooperate to produce specific recipes together and get from this mess to this beautiful, organized structure in which everyone knows what they have to do to reach the objective in time. That is, until an earthquake shatters the ground and we cannot get the onions to the other side and everyone screams and cries. Number 4. Wand Wars. You might have heard of Lethal League, not Rocket League, and its baseball bats, but I much prefer Wand Wars. Just like in Harry Potter, the aim is to kill your friends with a ball, and the last person who threw it is immune to it. Except that the others can still transform you into a chicken, or forget about the ball and blast you with a power-up. Very interesting to play, and there is plenty of room for insane battles. Number 5. Hidden in Plain Sight. There are lots of non-player characters going on about their life, and some of the players have to mix between them and accomplish objectives, while other players have to find them and execute them. A very fun game mode is a race, because everyone has both a competitor and 1 bullet. Be trigger happy and they can just run to the finish, be too cautious and they will slip right past. Number 6. Goat Punks. King of the Hill has never been this fun as a pack of goats attempt to race to the top of the mountain and maintain the position long enough to win. Easier said than done as there are shields, missiles, mines and many other ways to interact with your opponents. Trying to read their next move is like playing a game of rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock within milliseconds. Excellent mind game, and this one can be played online. Number 7. Porcunipine. Sometimes it's the most simple concept that can be the most entertaining if done well. These almost cute creatures can throw a spike and 3 bones on walls. Pick it up to get it back, and pick up the skulls of those you killed to score. Commit suicide with a miscalculated throw, and anyone can grab your skull. There are many maps with each their own little quirks, which is a very important factor for these games to last over a longer period of time. Also, for the making of this video, one of my friends was busy eating his sandwich, so I was playing the pink creature with my hands, and his green creature with my feet. Number 8. Crawl. This one requires sessions that can be a bit longer than the others, but there is something really attractive about these macabre graphics and the asymmetrical nature of having 3 players that are the monsters, all bonding together against one poor soul. Anyone killing the human gets rewarded by taking his place and attempts to complete the dungeon. The pacing of this one might be less enjoyable than a few others, but a group of dedicated players will find much to love. Number 9. Invisigun Heroes. Everyone is invisible. Great, what now? Well, they will reveal themselves when splashing in the water, bumping into the background, or shooting at you. Try to anticipate trajectories in a chaotic mind game. Just like in Porcunipine, there are lots of different maps to provide good replayability. On top of that, each character has their own unique power, and power-ups appear time to time. Really good, but can be a bit too mind-bending for longer sessions. Although it can be played online, so there is that. Number 10. Bloody Trapland. This one is for inner masochists, as we all try to rescue the exit of insane sadistic platformer levels. You can jump on someone to kill them, but maybe you'd rather take the risk to let them go first so they trigger a deadly trap and clear the path for you. With all the blood and screaming, you can get a headache quite rapidly. The game would be better if it was not in potato resolution and would work on full screen. But hey, I guess that's why there is a sequel. But the sequel might be a little too refined and not enough brutal in a fun way. Oh, and this can be played online. If you are squeamish about violence, Speedrunners is a more streamlined game to replace this one. Number 11, because who said that this list had to stop at 10? Dad Beats Dad. There is a dad dating visual novel released recently on Steam, and I guess this is what happens when the honeymoon period wears off. They start kidnapping each other's kids and throw them off a cliff. While I did not particularly enjoy this game mode, we had a lot of fun with Diaper Sniper. Thankfully, the diapers are clean because what's inside is a brick, and it's the only way to kill the others. One diaper, 4 angry dads. You imagine the result, as everyone is trying to take hold of the unique weapon. Number 12. YamaYama. They basically took the funniest minigame of Mario Party and made a game out of it. Bones to push your opponents into deadly lava or on electrical grids. Perhaps not enough levels and game modes to occupy you on long term, but it's still a good addition to a collection if you can stomach the deliciously weird art style. Number 13. Push Me, Pull You. Talking about weird art styles, this one is so down in the list because my friends were actually too disgusted to play it for longer sessions. You can probably see why, as several human centipedes rub each other to keep the ball on their side of the level. There are several other game modes to have a bit more fun before you vomit. Number 14. 3-2-1 Grenades. While I don't condone playing first-person shooters on a controller, this one is about throwing grenades and it's just simplistic enough to work while proposing several maps and game modes. Really a throwback to the split-screen era of GoldenEye. Simple can be better. With my friends we tried Screen Sheet, a FPS in which everyone is invisible and you look at the background to find the others, but they got confused and they did not have the patience to keep playing. Number 15. Stardust Vanguard. Become a Gundam, the Japanese mecha, shoot, shield, slash, or summon a whole fleet to fight for you. A bit complicated, but an interesting entry if you're looking for more. Before we move on to 1 vs 1, here are some honorable mentions. Towerfall. While I personally don't like how it plays, this one game kickstarted the genre on PC. Thank you, Towerfall. Bomberman 64. Yeah, okay, this one is not on PC, but I had to talk about it. The whole era of the Nintendo 64 and the possibility to plug in 4 controllers is the reason why we're having these amazing games to play with friends to this day. While there were a lot of games to love on that console, my personal favorite that still holds up to today's standards is the oddball Bomberman with its round explosions. I don't know why they keep thinking the cross-shaped ones are good, because in Bomberman 64 it allows for a lot of fancy levels. Finally, here are the best games to play in 1 vs 1. Number 1. Sorry Nidog, I played you in tournaments, but I still prefer the game that you inspired, Eggnog Plus. Eggnog Plus is fabulous. You can attack or guard on several angles and throw your sword, but be ready for the reborn to kill you in the most ridiculous ways. Something better than Nidhogg is the fact that the rooms you fight in are larger, so there is much more possibility for insane back and forth. Get 2 controllers and a crowd, everyone will be happy. This one is not on Steam, it's pay what you want on itch.io. So you can basically get it for free if you're stingy, but believe me that this game is worth a lot more. Number 2. Samurai Gun again. Okay, you got me. I just love this game and it's a beautiful ballet when playing 1 versus 1. Most of the games from the 4 players list can also be good when played with only 2 players, but I selected this one specifically. Number 3. Dead Drop. This one is very similar to Hidden in Plain Sight, but limited to only 2 players and more refined. One player is a spy, trying to blend in and accomplish objectives. The other one is a sniper, trying to ascertain domination on their hunting territory. The spy can choose a specific power like a smoke screen, and the sniper can choose the map among a handful of choices. Number 4. Dynasty Feud. Technically this is a 4-player game, but it didn't make the cut. Each player chooses a family with 5 characters, and each character is lost upon death. The reason why it does not work well with beginners is also the reason why the game is awesome. Each character can move and fight differently. Melee, archers, riflemen. It's very difficult to adapt in a chaotic melee with small characters on the screen, lots of movements, and just too many things happening for beginners. But once you get the hang of it, or play 1 vs 1, it's a great game. On top of that, it can be played online. And finally, number 5. Penarium, a carnival of carnage, a circus of sadistic platforming. Like bloody Trapland earlier, but with dynamic traps. Just try to reach the button faster than your opponent, or push them to their death as a crowd cheers. Definitely not for everyone, but I absolutely love this game. Very quickly, if you're into fully fledged adventures, there are 2 games that require to cooperate in interesting ways: Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime and Red Rope. And lots of classics like Metal Slug. As a final note, I would just like to say that some games only recognize direct input controllers, while other games only recognize X input controllers like Xbox. Personally, I use a Logitech F310 because it has a little switch on the back, so you can change between direct input and X input on the fly. I just don't like the triggers, not very reactive. And if you prefer wireless, there is the Logitech F710, and this message was not sponsored by Logitech. It's just that I feel very sad that a lot of people feel like they have to buy Xbox equipment. They really don't. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you found new games to play with your friends or new reasons to provoke a divorce. You're welcome to subscribe to my channel, but you just need to know that this is not the content that I usually do. I'm usually doing reviews or quick let's plays or challenges tied to a specific game in English and in French. Alright, bye bye!